This week in Jamaica Now, the election wait. Are the polls now off the cards for this year? PNP president tells comrades to stop the infighting and get united. Andrew's mansion a talking point on PNP platform. Outrage following the murder of a 6-year-old boy in St. Anne. The blame game over the water woes at the UWI. And remembering Jamaican gospel singer, the late Sister Scully. The details of these and other stories coming up after the break.
I'm Davina.
And I'm Trix.
And this is Lifestyle Today. One of the island's premier fashion showcase, Collection Moda, was launched recently, and we were there to see what's hot on the runway. Here are some highlights from what went down.
I'm Caroline Brown, and this is Jamaica Now. Political pundits are now beginning to think an election may be off the cards for this year as the PNP president, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, heads to Black River, St. Elizabeth for a mass rally this Sunday. There was heightened expectation that the PNP would have met in Halfway Tree on Thursday of this week or this Sunday, where Simpson Miller would have announced the election date. With the minimum 21 days required from the announcement of the polls to the actual election day, an announcement later than November 27 would take the country into a national poll during the peak of the Christmas period. However, the PNP has said it will not interrupt the Christmas period with an election. It means that if there's to be an election this year, Simpson Miller would have to announce the date by next Friday. And while the PNP will be in Black River this Sunday, the JLP will head to Montego Bay St. James to host a massed rally. On Thursday, the Labour Rights began their western run when party leader Andrew Holness stopped in southeast St. Elizabeth, where one-time MP Franklin Witter will be seeking to unseat the PNP's Richard Parchment. Backed by a catchy new tune, Holness urged Labour Rights to bid Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller goodbye. Still on the campaign trail, the Upper St. Andrew mansion of the JLP leader was a major talking point among comrades at a political meeting in Portmore, St. Catherine on Sunday. PNP campaign director Dr. Peter Phillips said party president Portia Simpson Miller is unlike other people who seek to use politics for her own advancement. He raised questions about the cost of Mr. Holness's house, claiming that a hefty sum is being spent to construct the property. Responding to the claims in Top Hill, St. Elizabeth on Thursday, JLP Deputy General Secretary Audley Gordon said Dr. Phillips was being envious. He also said comrades should follow the example of Holness in being productive and not Phillips, who is being red-eye. In the meantime, the PNP president has charged that comrades should put an end to protests over prospective candidates for the upcoming general elections and unite. There have been unease in some PNP constituencies, including North Trelawney, where there has been tension over the selection of J.P. White to replace Attorney General Patrick Atkinson. Instead, party supporters want outgoing East Rural St. Andrew MP Damien Crawford as their candidate.
It is time that they cut the nonsense and begin to move ahead. We're all not going to be loving the same person. We're all not going to be wanting to support the same person. But what we should do is do what is right in the interest of the Jamaican people.
On the JLP side in West Central St. Catherine, Dr. Christopher Tufton was this week named as the new standard bearer, replacing Devon Wint. Wint was asked to resign more than a week ago amid certain allegations against him. Several people in West Central St. Catherine have been protesting against the insertion of Dr. Tufton, insisting that they want Wint. In other news, the St. Anne police are awaiting the results of a post-mortem report to determine the cause of the death of 6-year-old Daniel Anderson. Anderson's body was found with its head bashed in inside a gully in St. Anne on Monday afternoon. He had been reported missing a day earlier. The police say already they have collected statements from several persons. There is an apparent blame game between the National Water Commission (NWC) and the University of the West Indies (MONA) over the water woes on the campus. Students who live on halls of residence have indicated that they have been without water in the main pipes since August. The NWC says it is not at fault, charging that internal water distribution falls under the responsibility of the university's administration. But the UWI's administration has rebuffed the claim, saying the NWC has fallen short of providing the institution with adequate water. It also says water restrictions imposed by the NWC has affected supply to sections of the campus, and according to the UWI, the water pressure to the campus is below the level stipulated by the Office of Utilities Regulations. Upset public sector workers and their union, the Jamaica Civil Service Association, this week staged a demonstration near the Finance Ministry to demand their retroactive traveling allowances. The union argues that workers are coming off a 6-year wage freeze and need an economical reprieve this year.
A circular came out the other day to say that while we were getting the payments by October and the traveling allowances, the new rates by November, we wouldn't be getting the retroactive payment until the first quarter of the 2016-2017 financial year. And so that did not go very well with us, because that would mean that the agreement would not have been implemented successfully before December 15.
But the government says the money is not in the budget for this year, and so the public sector workers have to wait until the first quarter of the next financial year. The parties are to meet to further discuss the matter. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune into Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Carleen Brown, and before we go, remembering Sister Scully, social media reacts to the sudden passing of the renowned Jamaican gospel singer Audrey Scully Hall, who was 57 years old.